Can Cinema's most iconic dinosaur, Rexy, survive the perilous and dreadful Skull Island? Is she able to successfully find food, water, and fight off the great big threats like Pteranodon, the V-Rex, and even King Kong himself? Well, ladies and gentlemen, your most hated dinosaur power scaler is here to analyze every creature's feats and every creature's stats to determine if Rexy can become the new queen of Skull Island. But before we do any of that, some of you are not subscribed. I beg of you, please subscribe, especially if you want to see more dinosaur related content. I saw some of you guys were very close to voting for the Spino to be in this video, so if you want to see the Spinosaurus show up in another video, make sure you subscribe. And if you do, my good friend, I will send you the richest crow on earth. You'll never be broke again. But with all of that out of the way, let's begin our analysis. Rexy, the queen of the Tyrannosaurs and even queen of the dinosaurs. She boasts an impressive 40-foot length and a height of 18 to 20 feet. And my girl is heavy. No, not fat heavy. I mean she's a brute, weighing 8 to 9 tons and a powerful bite force of 8,000 psi, which is 10 times more powerful than the alligators, but... Wait a minute. Did the guy who wrote this couldn't even bother to do a 3-second Google search? Okay, in actuality, if we were to take the statement fully seriously, her bite force should be over 20,000 psi, which makes way more sense. She's strong enough to flip over jeeps, hold a moving helicopter in place for some good amount of time, and push around a 10-ton Giganotosaurus. She can even physically overpower the Indominus Rex, who has strength strong enough to rip apart steel and knock down zipline towers. That will require strength to pull and push several upon several tons. But don't be fooled. She still isn't strong enough to pull Rod Wave out of a golden corral. So she's strong, she has a crazy bite force, but how powerful and durable is Rexy exactly? Well, Rexy herself and her species is either referred to as the most powerful predator or definitely one of the strongest creatures in the whole entire verse. Hey, stop laughing! Yeah, Rexy be taking L after L. She's looking like the Lakers against the Timberwolves, but that doesn't make her weak. It actually makes these guys really strong. For example, Indominus Rex. Indominus Rex was able to crack and break fiberglass. Same glass made to endure bullet fire and even take an ankylosaur tail smack. And she's slamming through that same material at superhuman speeds. These feats either generate enough energy to destroy small buildings or full-size buildings. Indom also kept it pushing after getting blasted by an RPG shockwave. And Rexy was giving her them straight fresh bites of 87, leaving some horrific scars on the Indom. Her twin, the Buck, also generates building level damage as well to a bus, and Rexy should at worst be comparable to this or just outright stronger than a Buck. So it's looking like Rexy is either a destroyer of Hobbit's cribs to a destroyer of your favorite Barbie store. Now let's talk Rexy's speed. She may be huge, but she's incredibly fast for her size, clocking in at over 30 miles per hour in her running speed. And she's able to catch raptors lacking or fight opponents who can battle raptors too. Velociraptors in Jurassic World being capable of moving at 60 miles per hour, giving Rexy superhuman speeds. And next is abilities and battle IQ. Ability-wise, she's exactly what you would think, a T-Rex. But I would like to note her endurance is insane. Rexy would get the snot, teeth, and soul knocked right out of her body, and then literally a few seconds later, she rises back up like nothing ever happened. In battle IQ, she targets the neck of her opponents and uses them as battering rams into other objects. She's smart enough to align herself with other species in mid-combat. So yeah, Rexy isn't no Batman, but she's definitely no stupid animal either. Alright, that's Rexy's stats. Let's see if she got what it takes to survive Skull Island. Alright chat, we're dropping Rexy from the battle bus into Skull Island. Once she lands, she explores this new and strange environment. It has creatures she's never seen before, but also has very familiar creatures as well. So she shouldn't feel too out of place here. And now she's ready for a snack. She decides to go for a creature that looks like one of the dinosaurs back home. Enter in Phoroctus, a ceratopsian creature native to Skull Island, and these guys do not play, ranging in lengths of 24 to 34 feet, and they're constantly on smoke. Phoroctus was knocking homies out like he Tyson, so highly aggressive that even V-Rexes usually avoid these guys. Rexy, on the other hand, being the apex of Nublar, is not unfamiliar with ceratopsians. So as she spots this single Phoroctus, she uses her very peculiar stealth tactics, which sound crazy, but it worked a lot in the movies. Creeping up on Phoroctus and boom! Catching a herbivore by its exposed neck area. While Phoroctus is an impressive and powerful creature, weapons to a weaker caliber than the opponent's Rexy has taken on took it right out. And unfortunately, Bro cannot bypass plot armor, cause somehow this regular guy survived this! Phoroctus is a worthy opponent, but they're no match for Rexy, making them their first meal on Skull Island. Rexy had herself a banger of a meal, 5 stars. She takes a nap before continuing her exploration of the strange island. As she dreams about losing to the next Jurassic World villain, her senses go off. She wakes up anticipating a threat, only to see a big back Photodon. It's munching on the Feroctus corpse left behind. She roars, scaring off the guy, and then she rises back up, continuing her journey. As she travels through this island, she notices loud noises and sees a herd of Brontosauruses. If she manages to take one of these guys down, she'll be fed for days. Although she does acknowledges this is a huge herd and they will definitely cause commotion. And she's seen Yoshi's final smash and she wants none of that. So she continues on her way. But some other creatures are just that crazy enough to challenge these massive herds of Brontosauruses. But instead of expending a lot of energy on them, how about they target what they perceive as an easier meal? Enter in the Venatosauruses. Dromaeosaurs who are bold and ready for action. The honey badgers of Skull Island, if you will. They grow in sizes of 16 to 24 feet in length. They got big brains too, forcing their prey into tight spaces or even dead ends. And with Rexy, they believe they hit the jackpot. 2 Venatosauruses leap onto Rexy, biting and scratching at her hide, and the rest of the Venatosaurus trailing behind the attack. Unfortunately for these guys though, this is not Rexy's first rodeo with Dromaeosaurs. Rexy cleverly uses her larger size to shake off the Venatos and to crunch on them like chips. They're highly aggressive though, so one of them dying is not going to stop them from their attack. But it's just no good. They lack the AP and durability to truly be a threat to Rexy. They were getting shoved by regular humans and, you know, maybe I shouldn't call this guy regular. The feats he's pulling off is convincing me he's low-key a super soldier. I should probably put him up at Sentry at this point. She can handle their attacks and one-shot them. This is a massacre, not a fight at all. With only about 2 to 3 Venatosaurs left, they realize they're cooked and they retreat. Rexy roars in victory and to let any other predator know she is not to be played with. After boxing with multiple creatures in one day, Rexy becomes thirsty. Using her sense of smell, she locates the closest body of water she can find, coming across a swampy area. The water looks gross, but she's thirsty, so it doesn't matter. Drinking up the swampy water, she attracts the attention from a deep dweller. From the depths comes out Piranodon, a fish creature that's very large, males growing up to 20 feet in length and females up to 50. This male though, bit a little bit more than he could chew. Realizing Rexy's out of his weight class, bro skedaddles back into the water. Rexy, irritated, roars at the fleeting fish. But after that, she continues on her journey through Skull Island. Rexy, traversing through the jungle, caught sight of something. A tiny woman. Last time she see one of these, she was mogged on by one with heels. She slowly creeps up on her until she hears a twig snap and a deformed roar. A V-Rex plows through the scene chasing after the human, despite the fact bro already has a Photodon in his mouth! Rexy isn't letting a chopped version of herself get the lead, so she chases after him too. Rexy, with her superior running speed, passes the V-Rex, getting closer and closer to catching her snack, until out of nowhere she was kicked into a tree by another creature. Rexy rises back up to see an enormous ape, the king of Skull Island, King Kong. We have a 3-way standoff between Rexy, her ugly cousin, and a milkman. But before we dive into the battle, we need to talk about how strong are the V-Rex and King Kong. King Kong is king for a reason, smashing cars, tearing apart theaters, and even destroying small buildings. With him doing such feats coming out to, well, who would have guessed it, small building. He even tanked getting hit with a motor strike, an also small building level feat. V-Rexes are rivals to the Kong species, growing up to 50 feet in length and weighing about 10 tons, and with the power to bite and damage Kong himself, which would also make them small building level too. So how would a fight between the three play out? King Kong would be the best fighter in terms of skill, being able to 3v1 opponents comparable to him, use his environment as leverage, and even use his opponents' weapons against themselves. Man, that monkey was cooking. V-Rex is the largest, but Rexy, she's the strongest, which I know sounds blasphemy to many of you, but Rexy can reach building levels of power while the other two are just small building. This gives her the AP advantage. Her bites on either of them should do critical damage and she should be able to take a long beating from them. Heck, even when stronger opponents were absolutely putting her on the shirt, she still managed to make a 3-1 comeback. So she's cooking here. Don't get me wrong, the V-Rex and King Kong are pretty gnarly. But in terms of power scaling, Rexy should be able to take the both of them down, making her the new queen of Skull Island. Well, maybe we should take her back to her universe because Skull Island's gonna sink in a few years. So, she was only queen for a few seconds. Bye-bye!